I'd like to introduce April Dinwoodie, who's a transracial adoptee and the chief executive of the Donaldson Adoption Institute, and also co-founder of Fostering Change for Children. My first question, April, is what do you wish your parents had known when they adopted you growing up?
So I don't think you can talk about that unless you talk about what they were going through when they were adopting and what conversations were encouraged by the professionals around them. So in my paperwork, it describes me, and the pediatrician saw me X number of times, and then at one point it says, this child may be biracial. So just the mere fact that there might be a difference in race, and clearly there's a difference in race, I think the context for that really wasn't explored as even an idea necessarily in a way that it could have and should have. And the open dialogue around race, class, and culture differences were not really discussed. So there's that, I think, big piece that is a big one. And then the other thing that's a little less heavy and deep than that, but still of great importance to me, and I know to many young people who are adopted transracially, and that is hair care.
It's a big one.
As the years have gone on, I've gotten more comfortable with my hair, and I'm realizing how much my self-confidence was tied to how I looked and my hair. So I those are two very different but some connected things, and things that I think have changed dramatically over the course of the last 40 some odd years, thankfully.
So what do you think parents who are adopting transracially now in the current climate should be thinking about, should be doing to prepare for their children coming and to help their children once they have them?
Well, I think it starts as a reflection of your own identity and who you are. And, so much of what we talk about in this context is good for everybody to do. We just, as part of the transracial and adoption paradigm, we are sort of forced to in a way, which also feels like an opportunity. So I would say it starts with where you are and where your biases are, and really, really exploring that in a way that pushes you. Because when you have that experience of someone coming up to you and your privacy is sort of compromised as your family is and looks different, people feel like they can invade your privacy in a way that's unimaginable, but certainly real. In those moments when you need to protect yourself and your family, are you going to be ready for that, and how that might affect yourself and your child? So I think it starts first really with an introspective look at who you are, what is your identity, what are your feelings about race, class, and culture, and a dynamic dialogue about those things versus a very cursory and very unrealistic look at things, which is we can love a child of any race and any color. And that certainly may be true, but there's so many layers to it that go well beyond that sort of idea in that moment.
Absolutely. Do you have thoughts about where people should live if they're adopting transracially? Do you feel that people should be in urban environments where kids have more kids who are like them?
I do. I do think that's a really important factor. And I think the world is opening up in a big way, but I do think it's important to consider where you are. Place is so very important. Now, place could be about a spirit and about a way in which, the community around you conducts themselves. Not everybody is going to be, humming your same, tune of your family dynamic and what you want and where you sit in the world with your views. But there could be less diverse communities physically, but more diverse in thought that are things to consider.
Absolutely. Yeah. April, can you tell us more about your work at the Donaldson Institute?
Sure. At Donaldson, and what the future looks like for us really is about how can we utilize our research for more practical purposes. We find so many parents coming to us who read a 100-page research paper that wasn't really intended for them, looking for answers, looking for support, looking for help. So it really feels like the right time to just translate more of what we know is rich, amazing content into more practical tools for families.
I'd also love to know about your work in Fostering Change for Children, what you guys do there.
Sure. So Fostering Change for Children is really my first real immersion into the world of adoption and foster care on a professional side. It's really about workforce and the specialized mentoring program, AdopMent, where adopted adults mentor to kids in foster care.
When you talk about the workforce, you're talking about the professionals who help all the phases of foster care, adoption.
From child welfare social workers and caseworkers to private adoption attorneys. I mean, and everything in between, because they're all really helping families to make decisions. They're helping children navigate birth family, adoptive family, their life, their mental health, their support systems. And this is the glue.
Such important work. Okay, so here's the $64,000 question. What do you think is most useful for all members of the adoption community, adoptees, adoptive parents, birth parents?
The thing that has resonated with me the most is finding community in other people who are like me. So often as a young person, I would think of thoughts that I didn't really feel comfortable sharing, or ideas that I couldn't articulate. But when you meet someone that's adopted like you, it's just an instant connection and an instant understanding. Our experiences may be different, but at the core, we share something very valuable. And not meeting my birth mother, meeting other birth mothers and having community and friendship has been amazing. So I would say building community.
Being with others who have the same experience.
Yes, absolutely.
I found it so beneficial to talk to you and other adult adoptees who've helped me think about my children and what they're going through. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.